Hi ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to be talking about probably one of the most overlooked concepts when it comes to your personal progress. There's a whole lot of misconception with this topic that I've addressed here and there, but I felt like a video is going to give the most understanding for it all. So when people they're going to shoot for fat loss, for example, trainers, doctors, dietitians, I'm grouping all of them. There's a lot of really good ones, and there's some that they're providing some advice that isn't really optimal, and a lot of it is calories in versus calories out. If you eat less, you'll lose, and that's correct. However, they're not addressing the issue of adaptation. And our bodies they're highly resilient, and they're going to do everything, absolutely everything within their power to survive. And what's going to happen is, so let's say that you're just starting out on a fitness regime, or you've got a trainer or something, and if you'll come in, Katie, you'll see right here I've drawn a little line. This is your maintenance calorie level, okay? So anything in theory below that is going to be fat loss. Anything above that calorie-wise is going to be an increase in weight. Okay. Now there's all these online calculators. There's heart rate monitors. There's Fitbits. There's all these devices that go about assessing where your calories should be. Those are based off of height, weight, gender, activity levels, all of these things, right? But they're a best guess, and again, they don't account for your hormones, and they don't account for adaptations. So this is what happens internally with your body, right? So you start out on a regime, and let's say that we drop calories, right? You may find that your weight drops initially, and then this is kind of where your body adapts, and you've dropped your calories, you're doing the cardio, and then all of a sudden you don't see any progress. This is where people will call plateau. But in all reality, it's more of an adaptation. Your body is now adapted to that level of calories. It's learned to survive or become more efficient with less total calories, and especially if it's steady state cardio based, it's going to adapt to that level of cardio. So for you to continue to see progress, you have to increase cardio or decrease nutrition, and you'll see progress again. And then guess what happens? You kind of stall in your progress because that is your new adaptation. And this cycle comes over and over again. So here's the problem though. Let's say that you were consuming 2,000 calories here, you're consuming 1,900 here, 1,800, 1,700, and it just gets lower and lower. Or you could have had one of those really awful advice, trainers, doctors, whatever, that they drop you immediately down to 1,200 calories, which is just poverty nutrition, and you're not even going to see this big of a drop in your weight. You'll actually see more like right here, but your body will have been adapted to this lower extreme, and that is horrible. All the people that are doing crash diets, HCG diets, all these things, they're adapting their body to minimal nutrition, and this is where it becomes a real problem. So if you're here, you're not really getting any food, and what ends up happening is if you have off meals, cheat meals, ice creams, alcohols, calories that end up going above this new adaptation mark, this entire range now is going to store as body fat, because this is the level of adaptation that your body has. And for you to get lower, obviously those have to get lower, but this is a really dangerous thing because you're limiting the nutrition that your body needs for health. You're ending up compromising organ functions, you're compromising your hormones, all of these things, they all end up declining and descending because your body has to. It has to learn to adapt to survive based off of the environments that you have provided. Now what ends up happening is clients get to this point, they're putting in 40 minutes to an hour of cardio a day, they're not eating any carbohydrates, they're not eating any fats or very little fats, and it's all protein and veggies, and they're not seeing any progress, and they feel defeated because, hey, I still have lots of weight that I need to drop. And trainers are like, you're lying, you're absolutely lying. And a lot of these clients, they're not lying. It's just, this is the new level of adaptation. And when they get so frustrated, they go for that bowl of candy or whatever the case may be. Again, all of that ends up becoming fat stores because that is what you've adapted. But here's the problem. You put on that weekend splurge of fat, but your body still is adapted to this level. So you get to stick with that fat. It's not going to go anywhere unless you're able to drop things even lower. And it becomes this cyclical pattern of nonsense. So it's something that I always say is you want to diet down on as many calories. You want to see as much progress as you can on as many calories as possible and as little cardio as possible. That way you always have room to pull. Now, here's where I differ in my theories from a lot of other trainers. If you take your current body weight and you times that by 10, so if, let's say I'm 200 pounds, my absolute calorie floor, like if I'm trying to drop down body fat for something, my calorie floor is 2,000 calories. Going below that is surely going to mess with my body in a not good way. And I'm going to be suppressing my metabolism, and metabolism is absolutely key to all of this. I mean, your training, your nutrition, if it's down here, if your metabolism down here, your nutrition can be perfect. You can be eating the cleanest foods in the world and everything, and you're not going to see progress. You can have the most immaculate program design, and you won't see progress if you've adapted your metabolism to survive on so little calories. Metabolism is that key thing that so many people are missing. So now let's take this on the opposite end, okay? So this is low nutrition, high cardio. Actually, I kind of want to touch on this too, carbohydrates. So many people are demonizing carbohydrates, and it's not carbohydrates. Carbohydrates they're such a friend of ours. I'm going to use a little spot over here to demonstrate. So let's say that you have someone, or you yourself, you can squat 200 pounds, right? And you're consuming, just for easy math, 200 grams of carbohydrate. Now let's say that you drop your carbs down to 50 grams of carbs because that's just what you need to do or what's been suggested so that you can lose body fat. Yes, your body is going to pull from fat stores because you're in an energy deficit. But what's going to happen is that 200-pound squat that was right here is you're not going to be able to perform to the same intensity that you were able to when you had that 200 grams, because carbs, that's your muscle's fuel choice. Glycogen fills up the muscle belly, and that's what allows you to perform. And you reduce those carbohydrates, you decrease that window of performance. So as your squats are, because you don't have the carbohydrates in your body now, you are going to be forced to do less reps, or your weight is going to go down overall. So let's say you're now only able to squat 185 for your reps. You think, oh, whatever, it's not a big deal, I'm still losing fat. Here's where the issue comes along. When you do a big drop like that, your body, remember, it only wants the muscle that it sees as necessary for survival. And if you were squatting 200, but now you're only squatting 185, you've just eliminated 15 pounds worth, not like total 15 pounds weight, but 15 pounds worth of energy expenditure. And when that muscle then is shed because it only sees that you need 185 pounds or can only do 185 pounds, that's going to take your metabolism and that's going to drive it down. And the further that metabolism comes down, the lower your nutrition has to get for you to continue to see progress. So we want carbs as high as possible while seeing the type of progress that we want, because those carbs are going to allow for that performance. And I get it that carbs are going to have to descend a bit while you're leaning out, but the higher you can get your carbs, the most benefit you're going to have there. With resistance training, this is where you're going to increase your metabolism. You're not going to increase your metabolism from steady state cardio. You're not really going to increase your metabolism from special foods. Hot sauce speeds up your metabolism. It speeds up the rate at which you are burning calories for that moment, but ultimate metabolism is increased from the amount of muscle that you have. So something that I have found as I've been reverse dieting people, so just to explain what that is, a diet is a descension, as you're descending calories down. A reverse diet is a systematic way of slowly bringing those calories back up. Now, I've personally found that there's kind of a level where you're not going to gain any weight if you are adapting your body appropriately through a proper reverse diet. So most people will be able to take their current body weight times 15 for calories. So if whatever that range is specifically for you, if you reverse diet appropriately, slowly bringing up carbs and fats and keeping proteins just fairly moderate, you can bring your calories up to your current body weight times 15 for total calories and be able to maintain the exact same weight that you are at. I found once we get above that level, towards your body weight times 16, 17, that is when actual weight starts to go and you're increasing in your actual size. But here's where you have that benefit, okay? Let's say that this was 2,000 calories. You've whittled your way down to 1,200 calories and you're not seeing any progress. If you can reverse diet and bring your calories up to, say, 2,400 calories, right? This is your new level of adaptation. And if we can do this without any cardio and just resistance training, then guess what? Anything less than this now is fat loss. And you don't even have to have, the perfect clean nutrition. You can have a flexible source of dieting. Like if this is what your body is now adapted to, and you consume this, even if it has Oreo cookies in it, this is a deficit. That is now loss. That is going to be a loss for you. So it plays into a major advantage to get your metabolism up and cycle out of this perpetual dieting phase that everybody's in. I just want to lose weight. I just want to lose weight. Well, guess what? If you're constantly trying to lose weight, your body's going to get adapted to this really small level, and you're never going to get anywhere. You have to take the time and restore your metabolism through proper resistance training and proper nutrition. Slowly bring that back up over time, and then you'll have this entire huge margin that you can see progress with. And the wonderful thing is you can diet down and whittle that down a little bit, and guess what? You will be leaner eating this many calories than you were here eating 1,200 calories, because you've taken your metabolism and you've made it better. Those things are absolutely key. You have to have carbohydrates to do that. Now, a lot of people fear, okay, well, I don't know, carbs, that's going to make me fat. But if you're just slowly bringing those up, slowly and systematically over time, and you're putting in a full-on intense effort, this is what ends up happening. You increase your carbs, and we'll say you increase them 5 or 10 grams per week, and you put that extra effort and performance into your workout. So you were squatting 185, here you're squatting 200, your body weight's still the same, now you're squatting 225, and then you're squatting 250 or whatever that marker is. your body will then be burning more calories during the workout and more calories throughout the rest of the day, because you have to have the muscle to support that kind of a load. Once people have gotten above this kind of 15 and they really are like, hey, I'm committed, I'm going to do a muscle gain, and I've seen this with ladies too, once they've adapted their body to these higher levels, they find that it is extremely difficult to gain weight, because you increase your calories and you end up burning through all of those calories with your workout. Your workouts become way more intense, you're pushing more load, your endurance is better because you have all of this food energy and your body's efficient at utilizing this. And it becomes extremely difficult to gain the quality weight. I mean, yeah, we can still gain fat if you're just calorie bombing yourself. But if you're trying to take a structured approach to it and slowly increase your nutrition so that you're not gaining a lot of fat that you have to work off later, it becomes extremely difficult. But, you get your metabolism up or up here, anything below that becomes fat loss. And you can diet down and get absolutely shredded, gnarly, crazy shredded on way more food than everybody else. And that's the key right there for fat loss. Yes, nutrition is huge. Yes, your workouts are huge. But the ultimate factor that so many people are missing is our metabolic adaptations. What we have chosen to do with our nutrition and our training will affect the rate at which our bodies burn calories. So we can have all these online calculators that say, okay, this is where you should be seeing fat loss. And you're like, well, that's a calorie increase for me. Well, yeah, because you've suppressed your metabolism and you're not going to see progress on that many calories, because that's going to be an excess for you because you've suppressed it all. Don't suppress your metabolism. You want to have your major focus when it comes to exercise on resistance training, not cardio. I know everyone's like cardio, and doctors are cardio. I'm just going to be straight up honest. Steady state cardio is the least effective form of exercise. Absolutely the least effective. Zumba is worthless. It's fun, but it's horrible. You're not going to see any progress. I know that's mean. I'm sorry if that offends you, but the reality is Zumba is not going to get you where you want to go. It's just not. You have to put in the effort in the resistance training floor. You have to structure your nutrition. And your level of success is going to be dictated on your willingness to be compliant with all of it. And if you're not willing to structure day in and day out, and you're not willing to take and push, I don't want to go to the squat rack. Can I just squat in the Smith machine? No, get over your fears, get under that squat rack, put on some load, and get to work. I don't ever want to see any more people doing 400 reps of bodyweight squats. You're not going to get anywhere doing that. You have to put your body under load. Use this as your rule of thumb. If you are doing squats, any kind of a compound leg, so that's leg presses, lunges, things like that, if you are able to do more than 15 reps, you need to increase your load. 15 reps is your new ceiling. If you are failing, you can't do any more reps with 10 reps, then like let's say that you're only able to do 6 reps, unless you're a power lifter. I'm just talking about general aesthetic changes. 10 reps, so legs days, 10 reps is the bottom. Obviously, if you're failing at less than 10 reps, you need to reduce your load. If you are able to do more than 15 reps, you need to increase your load. When it comes to upper body, 8 reps is kind of your low mark and 12 reps is your high mark. If you can do more than 12 reps, you have to increase your load. Your body has to be overloaded to see the progress. And it's okay if you're failing within that rep range, 8 to 12 reps. That's your spot. You don't have to be like, oh, I have to get 10 reps on the dot. No. Use that as your guide. 8 reps is your minimum. If you're failing with less than 8 reps, you need to lighten your load. If you can rep more than 12 reps, you You need to increase your resistance, and you have to push that effort. This is how you get your metabolism up. That is how progress is made. There you go. I've just given you the best secret that you're ever going to have for your fitness. Protect your metabolism. Stop the crash dieting HCG. Stop justifying yourself where things are too hard and I'm not sure if I'm going to fail or whatever. It's good to fail. I want to fail. I want to push myself to the point where I'm failing and I'm completely exhausted, because that's where I'm going to see the progress. You have to load yourself. You absolutely have to overload your system. And you have to be meticulous with your nutrition. That's where you're going to see the best progress. Push your load, push your volume, and eat right. Don't do all these crazy diet things. Just be really consistent with your nutrition. There you go. Hope this helps.